Imagine standing in the middle of Europe. Beneath your feet are roads, cities, mountains, and millions of people. But what if I told you that deep below Europe lies the remains of an entire lost continent? Not a myth, not Atlantis, a real continent that once existed on Earth. A continent so large that it stretched across hundreds of kilometers. For millions of years, it thrived in ancient oceans. Then it disappeared, crushed, buried, dragged deep beneath the surface of our planet. And the most shocking part, its remains are still there today, hidden beneath Europe. This is the incredible story of Greater Adria, the lost continent beneath Europe. For centuries, nobody knew it existed. Geologists studying Europe noticed something strange. The rocks found across southern Europe didn't seem to belong there. In places like Italy, Greece, Turkey, and the Balkans, scientists discovered geological fragments that appeared to come from a completely different landmass. The puzzle remained unsolved for decades. Then, in 2019, researchers finally connected the pieces. After years of analyzing ancient rock formations, tectonic movements, and geological records, they revealed something extraordinary. Europe had once collided with an entire continent, a continent called Greater Adria. Most people had never heard of it, yet it may be one of the most important geological discoveries of modern times. The findings completely changed our understanding of Europe's ancient past, because this wasn't just a small island. This was a continent, and it had vanished. To understand Greater Adria, we need to travel back in time. Around 240 million years ago, the Earth looked nothing like it does today. There was no Europe, no Mediterranean Sea, no Alps, no modern countries. Instead, the planet was dominated by enormous supercontinents and vast tropical oceans. Far south of Europe, a large piece of continental crust broke away from what is now northern Africa. This landmass slowly drifted into the ancient Tethys Ocean. Over millions of years, Greater Adria became a tropical paradise. Shallow blue seas surrounded its coastlines. Coral reefs flourished. Marine life exploded in diversity. For tens of millions of years, Greater Adria existed peacefully. But beneath the surface, forces were already preparing its destruction. The continent was moving, and it was heading directly toward Europe. The Earth's crust is constantly moving, very slowly, about as fast as your fingernails grow. But over millions of years, even tiny movements create enormous changes. Greater Adria continued drifting north, closer and closer. Then disaster struck. The continent slammed into Europe. The collision wasn't a single event. It lasted millions of years. The immense pressure shattered rocks, folded landscapes, and pushed entire sections of crust upward. The impact was so powerful that mountains began rising from the earth. Some of Europe's most famous mountain ranges were born during this collision. The Alps, the Apennines, parts of the Balkans, even regions stretching toward Turkey. These mountains are the scars left behind by one of the greatest geological crashes in Earth's history. But the mountains weren't the only result. Something even more dramatic was happening below the surface. Greater Adria was disappearing. When two continents collide, something has to give. In the case of Greater Adria, much of the continent was forced downward, slowly sinking beneath Europe. This process is called subduction. Huge sections of continental crust were pushed deep into Earth's mantle, deeper and deeper. Some parts descended over 100 kilometers below the surface. The continent wasn't simply destroyed, it was swallowed by the Earth itself. Imagine an entire continent being dragged underground, not in a day, not in a century, but over millions of years, piece by piece, until almost nothing remained on the surface. Greater Adria became a geological ghost, hidden from the world. Even though most of Greater Adria vanished, it left clues behind. Scientists can still see its fingerprints across Europe. The Alps contain rocks that once belonged to this ancient continent. The mountains of Greece preserve fragments of its crust. Regions of Italy contain pieces of land that were once part of Greater Adria's tropical seafloor. Even the beautiful Mediterranean region carries evidence of this forgotten world. Using modern technology, researchers reconstructed the continent's journey. They traced its movement over hundreds of millions of years, like detectives solving an ancient crime scene. Every rock layer, every mountain, every geological fragment told part of the story. And together, those clues revealed the existence of a lost continent hiding beneath Europe. When we look at Europe today, we see cities, countries, and mountains. But beneath all of that lies a hidden world, the remains of a continent that existed long before humans, long before civilization, long before Europe itself. Greater Adria was born in an ancient ocean. It traveled across the planet for millions of years. Then it collided with Europe and disappeared beneath the earth. Yet despite its destruction, it never truly vanished. Its remains are still there, buried deep below the surface, silent, invisible, waiting beneath millions of people who have no idea an entire lost continent lies under their feet. And perhaps the most incredible part of all, there may still be other lost continents waiting to be discovered, hidden beneath our world, waiting for science to uncover their secrets.